Twój startup.
Hello, today I'm with Tatiana Rybalkina. Hi.
Hi.
Tatiana works with our Twój Startup Foundation. So let's start with explanation. What exactly you do?
Actually, I'm a professional neurolanguage coach, a licensed teacher trainer, CELTA certified English teacher with over 15 years of experience. But currently I'm working with my clients according to a new method of teaching foreign languages, Neurolanguage Coaching.
Mm-hmm. And what's the method? I've never heard about it.
Yes, it's a new one, quite a new one. It was created back to 2008 by Rachel Mary Paling, and she combined neuroscience with coaching. It's a very unique method that helps our client learn a new foreign language quickly, effectively, once and forever, with pleasure. And what I can say more about it is if I separate neuro and coaching. Neuro is about some facts from neuroscience that help us, educators, teachers, make our process of working with clients more effective.
Okay.
Because teachers work with brains, work with people, and people are very hormone-dependent creatures, you know. And neuroscience have already proved that every time when we have some emotions, positive or negative, we have a great rush of hormones. And if these hormones are positive, our learning process is effective, is good. If our hormones, emotions are negative, it's like wasting of time. And I think it's very important to know for any educator, doesn't matter language or some other professional skills they teach.
So this teaching method is about emotions?
No, this teaching method is about knowledge of how our brain operates. Learning something new is creating new neuron connections inside our brain. To remember something and after that use it, you need to create strong neuron connections during your learning process. And the stronger your neuron connections, the easier for you it is to use new information, new knowledge, new language. And to create these new strong neural connections, you should have an effective process of learning. You know, learning something new is about neuron connections.
It's very interesting and very connected to science. So maybe you can give us an example, because it sounds very abstract for that moment.
Right, it is. And you know, actually it is very difficult to explain with words, and I like to say to people, if they're interested in it, that come and try it, because sometimes it's like explain what strawberry, what is the taste of strawberry? Can you explain it? For some people,
I think about sweetness.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing I think about.
But it can be sour at the same time.
Yeah,
it's
that's
soft.
true.
You know, for different people it can be different, and it's difficult to explain.
And it depends on which strawberry you think.
Right.
The big one or the small one.
Or an apple, for example. It's difficult. The same story is with neurolanguage coaching, but I'll try. Emotions is only one of the aspects, or it was a kind of an example that people always get emotions forever, during all our life. And neuroscience have already proved that we cannot form, our brain cannot make neuron connections when it is stressed. And unfortunately, many clients or students do not like their learning process, and they come to courses, to their tutors full of negative emotions, or stressed, or they're nervous a lot. And in this case, it is absolutely no sense to learn anything. You know?
I think that, sorry for interrupt you, but in schools it's
Yes.
normal to feel these kind of emotions in the lessons.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately, yes. And that is why you can not always remember what was taught in class.
That's true.
You remember the atmosphere, you remember your teacher, you remember even yourself. But what exactly the teacher was talking about, you cannot remember very often. And from that traditional teaching, for example, as a typical situation when you come to a blackboard, to a board, and you cannot say anything, but you are sure that you studied it at home, that you prepared, but you cannot recollect it. You cannot remember anything. Why? Because this stress, these emotions, they block your rational mind, some parts of your memory, and you cannot use your knowledge. Your neuron connections, you cannot use them. And with foreign languages, if we talk about them, the situation is the same. But the problem is that we are not at school anymore. We are big adults, businessmen, IT specialists. And when you need to make a public speaking, when you need to sell your product, to make a presentation of your company, you come to a stage and you cannot say anything. This is a problem, right? And thanks to these facts about our brain from neuroscience, we know, I mean, we neurolanguage coaches know how to help our clients overcome such difficulties. How to deal with your brain, how to deal with this stress and negative emotions. And every brain is unique. We know it. It's like our fingerprints, you know? Every brain is unique. And when we talk about learning in schools again, or just not schools, language courses, every different courses, I would say, unfortunately, we have one standardized program for everyone. And these programs usually do not take into account preferences of every single student or client, or person, or learner. Some specific things, the brain, the perception, information perception. And that is why this standardized learning process sometimes, or very often, it depends, is not so effective. And if we talk about language learning, very often people come to me and say, Tatiana, I have been learning English for all my life, for 5 years, for 2 years, and I've been doing it actively. I have a tutor, I have some classes, I do it myself, but I still do not have my desired result. I still cannot use English. I still cannot use it at work, for work. And actually, this part from coaching, if we talk about neurolanguage coaching, coaching is about clients. It's not about teaching. It's not about a teacher. It's about a client. Because, again, every person is different. And especially if we talk about adults, you need to learn English for your specific purpose, right? It can be business, work.
So it's very important to know the answer at the beginning. Why am I
Right,
learning?
exactly. Well done. And actually, this is our secret, I guess, because during our first session with a client, we create a really individual roadmap. What does it mean? It means that you, my client, tell me, why do you need English? What do you need English for? How are you going to use it? Because if you have a standard program, usually books, general English books, include such topics as shopping, traveling, healthy lifestyle, fast food, right? Sport. But you're an IT specialist. I closely work with IT specialists or business people. You need to talk to your customer, to explain your point of view, to say, to sell your product, let's say, to talk about your company, to talk about your project, to talk about your work and achievements. But you know how to talk about shopping, traveling and food.
Ordering a coffee.
Right. Well done. And very often this is the problem. They do not match what people study and what they really need in life. They come to a business meeting and say, oh my gosh, I can speak about the weather, I can order a cup of coffee, but I cannot introduce myself. I cannot talk about my project because I've never done it before. And that is why coaching is about our clients. When you say, of course, I am a teacher. I have no idea about your life. I have no idea about your business. I have no idea about how you are going to use English. How can I give you a program?
That's true. But I would like to go back to my previous question and ask you about the example maybe of the lesson, because I want to deeply understand these methods. Like you start with a quick interview with your client, and then the part with neuro is very interesting for me. It's about learning new words, or it's about the, I don't know.
It's about creating neuron connections.
Yeah, but how it looks like?
First of all, it's my skill, the skill of my leading the session, organizing the session. And clients don't get usually any knowledge from neuroscience from me. They can feel it. I started talking about emotions, and I know how not to trigger your brain, how not to make stress for you. And I make the atmosphere during our lesson comfortable, friendly. We call it brain-friendly method. So I teach my clients new material brain-friendly. They are not stressed. And I help them create strong neuron connections. There are kind of tools or a kind of skills. I'm not going to talk about them just because it's more... it will take us a lot of time, and let's call them a kind of secrets. But it's about how I talk to my client, organize the process, and at the same time, from time to time, to help my clients feel better, I share some facts from neuroscience. For example, again, coaching is about triggers. Language triggers, language fears. Do you know about them?
About language fears?
Fears like, or language triggers. I'm too old to learn a new language. I'm bad at foreign languages. My teacher said that foreign languages is not for me. And people have these triggers from early years. And these triggers stop them, block them from learning languages or from being effective in this process. And in such a situation, I can share with them that neuroscientists have already proved that human brain is able to create new neuron connections till the very last day of our life. Even if you're 90, even if you're 100 years old, your brain is physically able to learn a language, to remember any kind of information. Yes, sometimes some people make it easier, faster, some people don't, but you are able. So you may not say this because it is not true, and I have some scientifically proved facts. Or, for example, people say that they are bad at foreign languages. Oh, I'm so bad. You know, again, it's about stress. When people come with this being 100% sure that they cannot learn a foreign language, how can they do it?
And I think it's a really good motivation because everyone, I think, said that only young people are very able to learn new languages. If you are older, it's much more difficult.
But it is possible. Right, children learn faster because their neuron connections are made faster. But it doesn't matter then that a person of 90 years old cannot do it. And, you know, again, neuroscience have already proved that if a person speaks his or her mother language, they can speak any foreign language. They can learn any foreign language. Doesn't matter if it's Chinese or Polish or English. You cannot say that you are bad at languages. If you speak your mother language, you can learn, you are physically able to learn any other foreign language. And you know, many of my clients say, oh, thanks. Now it's such a relief. Thanks, it helps. People start believing in themselves just because of this scientifically proved fact. Mm-hmm. And there are a couple of other facts that I can share with my clients. You know, it depends on the situation, on their triggers, but such explanations help them believe in themselves, help them understand that, wow, all my thoughts are just stereotypes and they are not true, they're not about me. And through coaching dialogues, we help them believe in themselves. And actually, this is the first step that should be done. I believe in it, and I say this, that before learning any foreign language, you should get rid of your negative thoughts, of your negative language triggers, because it will never let you go further.
And before this method, you worked with other methods?
Yes, I worked with more traditional methods, with I have Cambridge certification. It's about communicative method. Yes, I worked with many other different languages, you know, and it doesn't matter that I do not work with them now. I combine. What I like about neurolanguage coaching is that it gave me a new method of working with my clients, but at the same time, I can combine it with Cambridge methods, with communicative methods, because again, people are different. And I use my knowledge from neuroscience, my coaching skills when I need them. If I don't need them, or sometimes I don't need them, I can use some other ways to explain new material or to help my clients learn new words or practice something that they really need.
Mm-hmm. So the best way is just to mix these methods.
Absolutely. And nothing can be, you know, ideally or purely perfect in this world, I'm sure. And yes, this is a combination of skills, you know, and there are many, not many, but a little bit more than 1,000 neurolanguage coaches all over the world. Actually, it's not a lot for the whole world, but all of us are different. And of course, we combine it with our experience, previous experience, and even I would say that something depends on a language. I mean, I teach Russian mostly, Russian-speaking people. I speak English to Russian speakers. But here, when I came to Poland, I've noticed that Polish people have the same mistakes in English as Russians do. But I can compare them with Italian because I speak Italian and I teach Italian as well, that Italians usually make different mistakes because of their mother language. And you know, this is one more thing that I absolutely love about neurolanguage coaching, that it shows that our brain always connects new information with what it already knows. That is why very often people have mistakes in English, let's say, or in any other foreign language similar with their mother language. Like prepositions or verbs, they connect, the brain connects, like, oh, in Polish it's this way, probably in English it will also be this way. But it doesn't have. Yes, usually, not usually, sometimes it is different.
Tatiana, it's all seems to be really interesting, and it's good that it's connected to the real science, and you have the science proof.
Right.
So thank you for this conversation.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.